Yes.
Yes. So we are about to kick off live. So let me say welcome to everybody. We should be live streaming into a couple different locations, and this is about, well, holistic healing. This is about natural healing. This is about looking at the human body, knowing thyself on a much deeper level. And when you know thyself, well, you can make new decisions and new actions and new choices. So personally, this is about helping people shift away and moving into a new arena of managing themselves, caring for themselves, aligning themselves. And well, it's about energy. And I have Dr. George and a good friend of mine, Kareem, here. I'm going to bring them in just a second. And well, we're gonna talk about energy, frequency, vibration. We're going to talk about the mind. We're going to talk about the body and how it responds to the mind. And we have tools, techniques, strategies, philosophies, practices, principles available for you. Check out drkeving.com/shop and you'll get all the right places you need to go. All right, everybody, let me bring in Kareem and Dr. George. I put Kareem on the spot. That Kareem, he didn't know what was going on here, and we go live all the time, and this is a bit formal. I've been buffing up on my tech, and I have a nice layout and fun things going. And Dr. George, we've been here doing this for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, maybe.
I think it's three plus, something
I
like that.
I
Yeah.
remember the first episode was in the small room I had next to a train station.
Yeah.
And what year was that? That was 2018. So we're closing in on 4 years, George. We actually July 2018, George. We've been doing this weekly,
Okay.
pretty much every week. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Maybe it was 2000.
Most of them.
Maybe 19. Oh my gosh, time, space. What dimension are we in right now?
At 18, but yeah, none of it exists anyway. So don't worry about that, I guess.
Well, and if I can make comment on Kareem and how Kareem's here today. Kareem operates something called brain mechanics. This is an amazing amalgamation of technologies, and on your website you say ancient wisdom meets advanced technology, and I couldn't agree with that more.
Mhm.
And to me, it's about knowing thyself. It's about breath work. It's gamified to help you get to the right places, and it's integrating techniques that I find absolutely fantastic and amazing, and I use daily. Most notably, something I'm going to tout here: center point meditation. And simply, Kareem, how I've been sharing the concept is orienting the physical body to align all the energy fields, and that when you do that, it's like this instantaneous meditation, this instantaneous feeling of goodness inside. So that's my Kareem. It is what I've had a lot of conversations with Kareem over the last few weeks, and these golden nuggets keep flying out. I can't help it. But thank you. So here we are.
Pleasure.
Yes. So Kareem, Dr. George, we've joined forces before. Kareem has experienced this, and I'm not here to have him talk. If he wants to participate, he can. But George, this is where we talk about philosophy. We talk about mind. We talk about energy. We talk about vibration. We talk about all this fun quantum stuff. And one of the things I love to help people bridge the gap, George, is that's what chiropractic is. It's quantum. Chiropractic is quantum. And I love the quote, and George helped me iron it in more deeply in my
Yeah.
psyche. Is the chiropractic is intention is to unite man the physical with man the spiritual, and that's the euphemism for all humankind, and
So that
so that the finite may
mind
know the infinite.
may know itself as the infinite.
Oh, thank you, George. We're working it
Yeah.
out. We're working it in there,
Yeah.
Dr. George.
You get there. Yeah, that's a powerful thing. 1895, the age of spiritualism. Yeah,
Mm.
and I was going to use this as a prop later on.
George, hold a little closer. Let me zoom in on you, and so everyone can see what's going on at the internet dojo here.
You got that?
And yeah,
Yeah.
let's see here, George. I think I got the right button. Yeah, I like that. That looks really good.
The triune of life.
Yeah, talk about the triune lift, Dr. George.
Well, there was a time when we thought the universe was made of matter, and there's certainly matter in the universe. And then, some years ago when I was coaching with another Kevin, he was like, the universe is made of energy. And now I think it goes back to first there was a word. The universe is actually made of intelligence or information. And the information gets delivered to the physical matter by energy. So that's the triangle. All these things are happening as one, but to take them apart, there's, intelligence, force, and matter. So if I may, I'll talk about what a body is to me. It's made of atoms and molecules and cells, and essentially it's a 3.7 trillion member orchestra. Each cell has its own, vibration, its own part to play, and it's all being conducted by the brain. And the brain is able to conduct all the body parts because it's connected with an innate intelligence, an intelligence superior to the one between our heads. So we got this vibrational unit making beautiful music in the context of the rest of the world, the rest of the universe, which is also made up of vibrations or musicians. And sometimes when a musician wants to sit in with the body, whether it's a cheeseburger or a bad thought or gravity or whatever other kind of force could impinge upon us, it's either going to sit well with the band or not so good with the band. So we're impinged upon by vibrations all the time. We're designed to constructively integrate those to uplift ourselves and to continually grow or achieve higher states of organization. The purpose of innate intelligence is to maintain a living thing in a state of active organization. But when we can't handle that stress as it's coming in, we store it for later. Now we've got a dissonant vibe happening, and eventually that's a state of dis-ease, and eventually it's a vertebral subluxation, nerve interference, body's breaking down, accumulating damage, getting old too fast, getting sick and worn out. And so the chiropractic idea is like, which stress is stuck in your body is your brain ready to handle today? And we're going to ask with our magic thumbs, where do I put forces in there to impel those stuck stresses back to the brain for a second chance at processing? And then the body reads itself and says, let me pull that bone over this way a little bit, pull that thing over there. Let me heal, let me rise up a little bit. That's essentially what we're doing in person, or because ether is all connected together, we're able to do it from afar because our minds have got whatever was in the way out of the way to do that. Woo, that was a mouthful.
That was brilliant. Thank you for that fantastic summary. And I want to add for everybody at home, the magic thumbs George is talking about is referring to a feature of life. The yes and the no, the one and the zero, the feminine and the masculine. We have all these halves of things. So it's a yes and a no response, and it's been used throughout ancient cultures in different forms and formats, and now we use it in computers. This expression of that feature of reality. And Kareem, if you want to add something, please chime in. Wave your hand. Otherwise, we're going to keep on moving forward.
Thank you.
Yes. So with that being said, what we're doing here is providing a service where people can say yes in their hearts to align with receiving the input to the ether that we're putting out. And when you are saying yes, that means you'll be part of the equation of the placeholder that Dr. George and I will be working on. And when I say working on, we'll be looking at this field of energy as if it's a patient right in front of us. And in that endeavor, the intention set, the work together, two professionals, and we've had many more professionals here at one time, and gamify for more in the future, come together with an intention of optimizing your system. And in that, we are provided the when to go, where to go, how to go, in the proper order, like a dance. It's a beautiful dance that unfolds in the session, and it happens quite rapidly in comparison to many therapies. And what we're doing is we're honoring the wisdom within that grew you from mom's cell and dad's cell and put you together, and here you are, Dr. Kevin, 6'3", 200 and so here we are. there's this intelligence, there's this wisdom, and this animating force that we want to help it express fully in your life. And in this endeavor, what we're doing is exactly that at that quantum level. And George, if you want to comment on that quantum level briefly, otherwise we're going to shift gears after that statement. What do you think? What is that? I call it the biofield now. It contains, for me, yeah, go ahead.
Well, we like to say, we're all one. We got to come together. We're all one, and the separation between things is an illusion. We talked about binary, dualistic universe. That's God is oneness.
Well, yes.
And this dualist thing is like, it's like once we get the two to become one again, then we're back in the garden, I suppose. But so in the meantime, this appears to be a bunch of disparate parts. But the more we can internalize the realization, we practitioners, that there is no separation, then we have access to a person across the world as if they were standing right before us, because time and space are illusions, and our mind can get around that to a certain degree. Does that make sense?
Yeah, agreed. And so let's go ahead and move forward. I'm going to rein it in, and every week we do this 30 minutes. We keep it tight, mostly. And sometimes we have a lot of fun. We carry on a few extra minutes, but we're going to go here, shift gears, and we're going to actually we've set the intention. We know what to do. And now we're asking, if you like this idea, any being of life at any level, depth, and dimension likes this idea, wants to participate in this, say yes in your heart, and you will be participating. Whatever time, space, and dimension you find yourself in reviewing this material. So that's some fun thoughts. Play with that, and we can talk about quantum physics. And if you want to dive in and ask more intimate questions, well, we have the members group and we have a members chat, and we're working on continuing the flow, building that, and integrating great communication and healing. There's places to join us in and learn how to have this knowledge for yourself. And otherwise, buckle up. We're about to shift that gear, and let's get started. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, we're going to take a deep breath. If you're driving, just listen, just hold that in space, but don't take your shoes off. And definitely don't close your eyes. And so the point being is, find a space where you can have a moment of sacredness. The doors are closed, and maybe things are on airplane mode, your shoes are off. Ideally, you're sitting on the ground, or put your feet in the sand or in the water, or something like that would be phenomenal. You have some nice light music going, something of that nature, where there's a space for you to be your best expression. And Dr. George and I can already feel it, George. It's like, Kev, stop talking. Let's get to business here. So we're gonna make that shift now. So here we go. Take that deep breath in, deep breath out. Allow that energy to shift and move. The breath itself will help you find that oneness that George was talking about, the space between the one and the zero. Mm. So let's go ahead and begin. Oh boy. So what you're witnessing at home is Dr. George and I connecting with the methodology to find when to go, how to go, where to go, what to do. So just notice what you're feeling inside and around and whatnot, and we'll tune back here in just a moment. you, George. I love it. All right, fantastic. Dr. George, thank you for giving me the thumbs up.
Yeah, yeah.
I know another routine here. And it's funny, you gave me the thumbs up. I was in this processing mode, and you gave the thumbs up. I was like, oh, one more. And it was a cranial bone right here. And George, you have handy the skull. You have that handy?
Yes.
Yeah, George is, he is, I love his office. If you're in Philadelphia, Fitness Square area, if I may be accurate. Oh, there it is. It's so good. It's so good. It's so funny you say that, George. You had that little guy right there.
The cock monkey.
My Chinese astrologist tells me I'm a horse and I have monkey qualities and all this horse quality. And there you are, you hold the monkey. And I love it. Thank you. So what I was talking about is where the two bones on the side of the head, the parietal and temporal bone, George, the red and the green, that zone right there, and just needed to shift. And George, the brain, the skull is the house of the brain, and if that house is leaning, there's some tension and pressures in the wrong places. That's for sure. And that feature is the opening between the brain and the skull. The brain and the rest of the body. The skull sits on top of the spinal bones, and that's known as the mouth of God. Is that it?
That's it. Yep.
That's it.
I was going to remind you of that. Yeah.
Yes.
Powerful stuff.
So, George, what did you find? What did you notice today? What did you find in your evaluation and delivery?
Well, as usual, I entered the system through the right kidney, so I put a force in there and got in. And then I saw Atlas, and Atlas listens are always anterior, but it seemed like it was posterior, like it was coming towards me on the left side. So I whacked that pretty good. And then sacrum, from right to left, needed to kind of rotate forward a little bit. So the two ends, and then everything in the middle starts to get back in tune again. Yeah. Like if you had the neck of a guitar was warped, and you unwarped it, then the strings start playing music instead of noise, and that was it.
Very good. Well, I started off, with the camera falling, so there we go. Make sure all the settings are where I want it before I get started. And but after that, I settled right in, and it was cervical, just from right to left, just a lateral, and there was kind of this feeling over and around the head, and it just needed to free itself. And then I was in this processing mode, and then I told you what I found at the end, right at the side of the cranium. And to me, what we're hearing is my evaluation of what we worked on is basically get your head on straight.
Yeah, right.
Do the integrous thing. Align your body, align your mind. It's doing what's right for the heart. George, talk about for a second heart rate variability. This is that tool that measures when the mind, the brain, the thinking, and the subconscious and the heart are aligned. Please expand on that. I know I've got to be a little playful on my statement, but George.
Okay. Well, heart rate variability. I have an instrument hiding in the closet someplace. Has to do with the relationship between the autonomic nerve system. Look, a picture of it right there, and the interbeat interval of the heart. So the machine measures. You put 3 fingers in the machine that we have, and it measures skin conductivity. So how much sweat is coming out of your fingertips from moment to moment, and the sweat glands. And also the temperature, I think it's measuring, is regulated by the autonomic nervous system, because that automatically controls blood vessel opening and closing. So, heat, blood flow, and also the sweat glands. And then it's measuring the time between each heartbeat, which ideally is not like a metronome. There should be a variable, interval between heartbeats. And so it measures, well, the output that it gives is, am I stuck in fight or flight mode, or am I balanced between fight and flight and relax and eat? And if I've been stuck in fight or flight mode long enough, how much adaptability, how much gas is left in the tank, right? So the ideal, graph would be, balance here. There's like a little box in the middle. Your little dot is right in the middle. But a lot of people would shift off to one side, showing that, hey, I'm really stressed. And then would start to drop down going, I'm stressed and I'm wearing out. So it's a valuable tool. I think a lot of coaches use it now, like daily, to see, hey, do you need a recovery day? Do a light workout. You can go full tilt. So there's a lot of information we get from that. As far as the sub part, I didn't know about that.
Oh, quite all right, quite all right. As I understand it, when we get that heart rate variability in its ideal range, that it produces adaptability and resiliency in all features of life. It just makes a healthier you. And so
Yeah.
that was the point of that comment. And thank you for a deeper dive into what's going on with subluxation station and the heart rate variability people and skin conductance. And boy, we got educated, we got healthier, we got more vibrant, we got a nice deep down introduction today. George, anything else you want to wrap up with before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I just want to throw in one last thing. The adjustment helps the autonomic nervous system balance to widen the gap, the general adaptative potential. We've got potential to adapt to stress. When our nervous system's all stressed out, then we have a very narrow gap and stuff gets on our nerves. We fall apart faster and faster. So being regularly adjusted, as you're doing today, helps your body to be able to handle more stress. And is there not more stress in the world than we've seen before? I think so.
Seems to be. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I'm Dr. Kevin Jarina, and you can check out Synergy Solutions. Go to the website, go to the shop. You can get access right there. And it's always an adventure here on Synergy Solutions Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Kareem, thank you for joining in, and George, thank you for all your support and deep dive knowledge. Much appreciated, everybody. All right. Have a good day. Indeed, I will.
Aloha.
Aloha. All right, everybody. Blessings and best regards.